Good morning, everyone. Hey, Vinny, how are ya?
Hey, I'm living the dream and yourself.
Living the dream, joined by my good friend Vinny. Vinny from the block.
Vinny from the block.
Vinny from the block.
Very
Holy
good.
fuck, Vinny. What's going on in your world?
Not much work, busy time of year.
How was your
That's,
holidays?
I haven't had any yet. Actually, today is my Friday. I finally have a day off. So I
Wow,
work right through Christmas there and I'll work straight through New Year's. It's kind of
man.
the business.
Yeah, you're super busy right now too. Like you're in the transport industry, so
Yeah. Yeah.
is that
I'm a
right?
major distributor. So yeah. Yeah. We're busy, busy.
Wow, that's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy time of year.
Yes, it is.
How are the roads?
They're still flat and they're painted with yellow lines normally, Jenny, but I mean, weather-wise, they've been all right.
You know what's so weird is that the earth is round, but the roads are flat.
Yeah, yeah, that is weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's how do you know how to go after that? I I think it's just so because all the level-headed people are driving on them, right? That's what it has to be.
Right. Well, there are some people out there that believe that the world is flat. You heard of those people, right?
Well, yeah, yeah, I believe they all voted for Trudeau, but
Yeah, quite possibly.
I'm gonna leave politics out of this because that's not really a good topic. I'm liable to get beat up by somebody.
I doubt anyone's gonna beat you up. They're probably running from you, let alone trying to beat you up.
Yeah, yeah, but apparently, and trust me, I don't know what it is. They always say that I have what they call bitch resting face, which I don't really
Oh,
get.
RBF. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, people are like, "Oh, man, you always look so angry." I'm like, "I'm not angry. I just have nothing to smile about." Like
Yeah.
like, who walks around with showing their chiclets ni 24/7? I don't. I don't get it. I'm just a very passive,
Well,
relaxed guy.
you do have a great smile. Every time I see you, you're smiling.
Well, yeah, well, I'm looking at you. I'm not talking to myself and, you know, watching guys talking to a phone at the gas station and stuff. Nobody, it's not very personal anymore in life. So,
Mm.
you're not interacting that much. Everyone's kind of withdrawn from everybody. So yeah, until you have one-on-ones like this, what are you smiling for, really? I mean, it's like a waste of muscles at my age. I don't want the lines.
There's a thing called face yoga. Have you heard about that?
Oh yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. Goat yoga. I've heard them all. I'm more
There's
of a yogurt kind of guy.
more of a yogurt. Well, this face yoga apparently can like make you look years younger if you do the right exercises. So it's a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
a lot
You
of
definitely will look younger, but everybody else will not want to talk to you. They'll be like, "What is wrong with that girl?
look
She is
younger,
like
just
wow."
look fucking retarded.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just-
You look like a millennial all of a sudden. You
yeah.
just look like you have nowhere you don't know where you're going in life.
Yeah, she's going nowhere fast.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
resuming.
well, we just found out that we live closer to each other than we previously were aware, which is great because I know who's looking through my windows now. It just makes
Yeah, yeah, well,
sense. Um,
definitely.
right? I can. It's hard to see at night, but it's just like, but
Yeah. Lucky for you though, I'm still not very good at the chin up. Like I
uh-huh.
just can't get past it. I have to do it from a distance. Jenny, you still all right.
I see you got some binoculars for Christmas. That's good on you.
Yeah,
Good for you.
yeah. I'd be the only guy that have them backwards, right? And screw it all up. But yeah.
Oh god, my pores look amazing with these
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. Unbelievable. Have you seen the moon today? That's not the moon. Those are your own pores.
Holy fuck! You got any plans for New Year's?
Yeah, I work New Year's. So
All
I'm
right.
planning on, I'm planning on, how you say that word? I plan on making a lot of puppies that day because it's double time and a half.
Ah, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Look at the distinguished gentleman taking a break. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Be like, wow, that truck is going really slow today. Like, I'm just a cautious driver.
Oh God. Well, time and a half is great right now, I think, for a lot of people, let's get those
Yeah.
few extra bucks and you can't pass that up, right?
No, no, no. And I have
Can't
so much to do in a town of like 900 people that,
oh
you know,
fuck.
like if you don't get invited to the party, like,
Someone fucked up.
You're like, that guy makes a really bad casserole. No go.
Whatever you do, don't bring the fucking Marie Callender pie.
Exactly. Right.
Holy
Oh,
shit sticks. Oh my god. Well, well, it's good to have those moments where you do get time and a half because it's so friggin' expensive now. Like, cost of living has like skyrocketed.
well, I can give you a good
Skyrocketed.
example of that. All right. I have been at this 30 years. Yeah, 30 years. And I make less money now than I did when I started.
That is bananas.
So basically my paycheck has never changed,
Uh-huh.
okay, over 30 years. But
You've
the
never given
price
you
of
a raise over 30 years.
no, not really. The trucking industry, and it's funny because
Wow.
they blame the trucking industry all the time on the cost of living.
Mm.
They're like, "Oh, the groceries are going up because of the price of fuel, so we have to pay the truck drivers more." Well, did anyone? I don't think anyone's ever told that last guy in the chain there that we need the money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it doesn't happen. No, I started out years ago running to Vancouver in California,
Ooh, that's a
and
nice run.
I made a decent living. In fact, I can honestly say I made a better living than most Canadians at that time. Now, I
Mm.
didn't really have a life. I mean, you're always on the road, you're driving.
Right.
So I
On the
mean, it's
road
kind of a
again.
trade. But yeah, so basically, I make the same now, but my mortgage is like we'll say 1,200 a month, where back then it was 300. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So like,
Yeah.
it's like the cost of living has crept up, so that basically we have like two parts of society now. You're either okay and have food, or you're poor. You know what I mean? Like there's no middle. Like there really isn't no middle. You're either
Really
okay
isn't.
and surviving, or you're really struggling, which is
Mm.
really sad for a country that prides themselves on being one of the best.
Yeah, and I think the cost of living particularly groceries, I'll put that out there. Fucking, I'll talk about that in a minute. But things like that are unnecessarily more expensive than they need to be or should be. I think we've got gouged at the pumps for a long time. We talked about the price of gas a couple of times on this show, and we do the remember when I first started driving, gas was like you really fucking date yourself when you remember the
Yeah, I
cost
know,
of
right?
things, right? Like it's insane, but like the cost of groceries
Yeah, and
just recent, and now let me say this: I've complained a couple of times about groceries, and if you're over 30 and you're not complaining about the cost of things, I don't think you're aging well in terms of society. I think it's part of the progress, part of the
but
part of
you could be part of the legalization of marijuana where it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I don't care what groceries cost.
yeah.
I'll be able to smoke my way through this. You know what I
Hit
mean?
me
Like
up with some blunts.
exactly right, right.
Like crazy, crazy, crazy. Well, it hasn't been, it's only been recently that I've noticed the cost of groceries going up. And usually, usually you can get like a couple of bags of groceries and it's, I don't know, 50, $60, whatever. But the last few times I've gotten to the grocery store, I've literally bought like fucking dish soap and a chocolate bar, and it was like $900. It was ridiculous. It was like it was insane. So I'm complaining about this all the time, right? And then you got to buy the fucking bags because you have all the bags. You have 1,200 of the cloth reusable bags that are
They're
in
never in
your
your car.
closet because you
Yeah,
never remember to bring them, right? Even when you put them
yeah.
in the trunk of your car, you don't remember to enter the store with them.
Yeah, I maybe they should color all the reusable bags with the rainbow, and then we'd all know to pull them out of the closet when we go out. You know what I mean? That that would be the only thing I could think of because I always forget them in the closet.
I'm telling you, I have so many of the, and so what do? You don't want to go on, you don't want to pay it's like 75 cents for a plastic bag or 10 cents for the reusable. Right. So what do? You buy more fucking reusable bags.
Yeah, and Walmart is going bagless. I think it's this month. I think
Well,
it's
it's like a lot of
like
men
the
around
second.
here.
Yeah. Oh my.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
dating's
yeah.
not fun. Just putting it out
Trust me, this whole world, like if dating and men and women, relationships, all that stuff. Anyone over, I would say 35 years old, well, maybe 40. It's
Mm.
tough. It would be really tough because you have really difficult questions. Like years ago, it'd be like, "Hey, listen, would you like to go to the movies?" Now it's like, "Hey, did you ever have an Adam's apple and a wiener?" Like we don't even know. I don't even know where to start. Like they've made the whole thing so hard. They really. I
That's what
remember you
she
just
said.
walked into the girl and said, "Hey, you're all
It,
right. Want to go do something?"
it's, you know, it's to the point where it's like if you're in a relationship and you're not happy, just stay in it, stay.
Yeah.
It's not better out here.
Yeah,
It's
it's like,
not, just
listen, if
stay,
you
just
really
hang in
enjoy that
there.
car wreck, don't if you enjoy that car wreck, don't get on the bus because it's
Just tough it out for another 30, 40 years. Hopefully you'll die peacefully in your sleep. It'll all be over
well,
soon.
as long as you enjoy the dying inside. Like once you've died inside, I don't think it really matters, right? You just move on.
Yeah, you just, you know,
Yeah.
you mow the lawn, you mow the lawn in your shorts, and you have your steak dinner every Friday night, and then that's, you know, you call that a life, right? I mean, your hungry man dinners, and you know, she plays bingo and scrapbooks on the weekend, and you fucking deal with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what it is. You just lose a little piece of yourself, probably the piece you liked. But anyway,
So
oh my
so
god.
I'm telling my friend about the fucking groceries bit, and he's like, "Well, where do you do your shopping?" And I was like, "Well, I usually do my shopping at I don't know, like fucking Freshco. Freshco's not bad, but most of the time I'll do it at, you know, Metro, whatever." Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
god! After the scream stopped, he was like, "You go to Metro for cake and that's it." He's like, "You don't go to Metro." He's like, "What are you, a fucking millionaire? Who shops at
Oh,
Metro?"
exactly. That's like when people are like, "Oh, I went to Sobeys." I'm like, "Sobeys?" I'm like, "What do you
Sobeys is
know?"
a fucking, you gotta have a fucking line of credit to shop at
Yeah,
Sobeys. Oh my God.
yeah.
A bag of cracker, a box of crackers is like $27.
Well, I know it's crazy. I normally myself, I mean, I go to Costco, which
Ooh, I like
works,
a
but
good
it doesn't.
Costco.
It's hard to get out of Costco under $300. Like
Mm.
even if you're just going in for protein shakes, like it's $300.
Yeah. And it
And
doesn't
then
matter what you buy. It's always around that. If you buy one
yeah, yeah,
thing or four things or like seven things or like
yeah,
a
and it's
half,
always
if you split a box of muffins with a friend,
yeah,
$300 when you come out of there. It doesn't matter
yeah,
what you buy. It's
yeah,
always
it
that
doesn't.
money.
Yeah, and then you have the Nazi at the door that wants to make sure that you paid for everything, right? You're like, what the heck?
So
I'm like,
it's a very
I feel like a
intent
criminal.
marker swipe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, what? And they're not even looking at anything. Eh? They failed at life too. They start wearing a name tag and they're like, yes, you're good. Have a good day. I'm like, really? That's your job. I'm like, wow, that's awesome.
I mean, honey got to get paid, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Costco, the only problem I find with Costco is that I find that I eat the same thing for 30 days.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
you
Well, they
got
have
to
the
buy,
bulk sizes.
yeah, well, that's just it. Like, I buy chicken wings there and I'm like, all right, well, I'll separate them out in like 8 pieces per bag or whatever. And I freeze them. And then all of a sudden I realized all I ate all month was chicken wings. Like, no, and the Hungry Man dinners. I don't know if you've seen. I did a video the other day. Uh, Someone asked me like, "What's the most difficult part of being alone and stuff like holidays and stuff like that?" And my thing is always the Hungry Man dinner. That little brownie in the center, I can never get that right. I'll
That's
screw
what
up the
she
whole
said.
dinner trying to get that brownie cooked properly. And that's the real struggle of a single person there, right there,
Cooking the brownie.
cooking the brownie.
Cooking the brownies. Oh my gosh. What's the deal with the Hungry Man dinners? Do you enjoy them? Are they good?
Uh, they were fast and convenient when I used to eat them all the time. Just
Yeah.
some, I don't know. It almost felt like someone made something for you. You're like, oh, look
Oh,
at that. It's
really?
all
Uh-huh.
proportioned.
Uh-huh. It was a moment. It was emotional time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, wow, everything's all divided. Nothing's touching. It's perfect.
Nothing's touching. It's all prepared. Well,
Yeah.
I was recommended. So this friend of mine recommended to go to No Frills.
Okay.
Fucking hell. I don't I don't know what the I don't know what the No Frills are like in your area. Um, but I walked into this No Frills upon an immediate anxiety attack, panic attack. Um, thought I was gonna get a fucking MRSA infection in there. It was so unruly and so dirty. I felt icky just being in there. it was so disorganized and stuff was everywhere and people were everywhere and you couldn't get like there was no clue, but I figured it out. You know what it was? There was people all in my way. I figured it out. They must have heard my show and heard me talk about me wanting to lose weight. So they got together and stood in my way every
Oh,
turn I took so that I would have to take a circuitous route. Huh?
yeah,
The
yeah,
weaving, the
yeah.
bobbing and the weaving, the extra side motions, like the twisting of the core to get around. I figured it out. That's what they did. That's what they did. Uh-huh. So,
Yeah, they're like life pylons, eh? That's all they
oh,
are. They're just like I always say that these people are like the extras in the movie of my life.
yeah.
I'm like, why are you here? Who paid you? Move. I need to go. Like, yeah. And they all
Insane.
seem to be in the aisle they don't want to be in. You ever notice that? Like they're always looking around. And, I don't have time for that. I'm in the grocery store. I pull something out of the shelf. I already know what I want when I walk into a Tim Hortons. Like those people really make me mad. They're staring at the sign. I'm like, really? Before I pull out of my driveway, I knew I wanted a bacon wrap and a coffee. Like, yeah, like these are like life decisions for some of these people. Eh? Like grocery shopping. I don't get it. You know
I,
what you eat.
and I don't
Doesn't
get
matter.
the people who stand in the middle of the aisle. The middle of the
Well,
aisle with the big ass cart. Like
yeah.
to
Or how
me, that's
they always find that one person, Jenny, that they haven't seen in 5 years. You know what I mean? And they meet up in the middle of the aisle and they just talk. And
yeah,
they're
and the
totally
carts are
oblivious.
like they're like staggered, right? So one's going one way, the other's going the other way. So you can't get around them, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like God forbid you interrupt their conversation, right? So I mean, we're not gonna fucking do that, are we? Nope.
yeah. Well, I'm originally from the Kitchener area, if you're familiar
Mhm.
with Kitchener. And I used to go into No Frills and I used to go into Food Basics.
Oh
And it
yeah,
got to the
food
point
basics.
where I thought I needed a passport.
Oh my
like
God.
it, like
Can we air this show?
no, I don't mean that. No, no, not in a bad way. It was actually a
not,
good
not in a bad
experience.
way. I'm just a little bit racist.
No, 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 no,
I'm just,
no,
I'm
no.
just kidding. I'm just fucking with you.
I never want to wear that. No. Um,
Turn that hat around. Not wearing
I
that hat.
I could actually tell you a story about Food Basics, but then I don't think you could air it.
Okay, let's save that for off the air.
Yeah, but I found it very interesting. Like I know you're saying people in the aisles say that, but I found it really interesting how people shop, like different ethnic backgrounds, how they shop compared to how we shop. You know what I
How
mean?
so?
Um, well, I've noticed myself living in a metropolitan area of many
Mm,
cultures like that. The uh, people from Asia, we'll say Asian people,
mm,
tend to shop daily, where you don't see them in there
mm.
very often. If they do, it's very minimal shopping. They get what they need fresh and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then you have your normal. Shit, I shouldn't use that word. I hate this politically correct stuff.
I know. You can't say fucking anything, right?
Yeah.
Now you can't say
So
anything because then you're. I
yeah.
know.
So
So
so you're white Canadian.
let's just
You have
claim it. Let's just claim.
we'll just claim it. We're the pizza pocket people. All right. like
Do you
like the
remember
cart
Pizza
is
Pockets?
yeah,
Fuck.
like the cart is full of all kinds of disposable garbage food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that way, I found those places very interesting to shop because you did get to see it different ways. And I've had a lot of interactions with people because I love what I would call ethnic food. I don't like
Mm.
a boiled potato or boiled pork chop or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
for me, it's very interesting. So if you did meet up with someone who is from Jamaica or India or something like that in the international aisle at Food Basics,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
looking at prices, you can actually have a conversation and get to know them more as a person
As an
than
individual. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Rather
and
than
why they
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense. Yeah,
you're
that is true. Some cultures are used to shopping like on a daily basis, and I think that's because you kind of touched on it with the freshness of the food because they're used to having accessible fresh daily markets, right? That they would
well
go
that
to.
as Canadians or North Americans, we're very wasteful. You know what I
Mm,
mean? But we waste a lot of food. We probably
one
waste more
hundo.
food in a year than some countries even consume.
Yeah.
So they know how to buy and use what they buy. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Properly. Where we
hmm
we have a lot of waste.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I like, so for me, I loathe shopping. So I like to like do one trip and get like a bunch of stuff and then pack it in the fridge or the freezer. And then funnily enough, you're not hungry for anything after you buy. I can't figure that one out. But you
I'm the
buy
guy
all
that
this
stop.
stuff.
I fill the cart to the top, get it all in the car and everything like that, and then decide to go to a restaurant before I go home.
Yeah. Oh, sub looks good. I think I'll pick up a sub on the way home.
Yeah.
And I
Or
like
you're
to do,
eating.
I'm like a one trip girl, so I like to like carry all the groceries into in like one
Yeah,
trip. So like I don't want to make two trips. I want to make two trips.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it will take me 35 minutes to get from the car to the front door because I'm dragging, 50 pounds of groceries, I will refuse to do two trips. I'm just stubborn
But I
fuck like that.
definitely don't buy your fruit singly then, because it'd be really hard to get 20 apples in. Like
It's been a while since I've had an apple, actually.
that's
Oh,
you know what that's like one of my biggest pet peeves, Jenny. Like when you're at the grocery store, you ever get these people that are like, do you need bags? I'm like, no, I'm gonna juggle to the car. Like, what kind of a question is that? Like really, like how do they even get that out of their mouth when you have like $300 worth of groceries on the table? I'm just looking at them. Like, I'll be impressed if you can carry them to the car, but
I'm just gonna use my hat.
yeah,
I'm just gonna make one trip though, so pack it in there. Oh my god, but fuck, that's the thing. Like, price is so pricey. Well, I told my friend I went to the took his recommendation and I went to the No Frills, and I told him I was like, it's the most disgusting place I've ever been to. And he's like, yeah, but the bill though, the bill. Tell me about the bill. How was the bill?
and
I
that's
was
just
like,
it.
you know
I
what?
should
Yeah,
recommend those places if you're doing any kind of canned goods,
yeah.
non-fresh stuff. You hit up those places like No Frills, Food Basics, stuff like that, and then you try to go to if you have like a local butcher or like a local place for meat, like in Kitchener we used to have a European mart or whatever, and you
Hmm.
could go in and buy the whole leg of a pig or whatever and have them cut it for sandwich meats or whatever. That's a much better and healthier
Poor thing.
choice. Well, I know he doesn't have a leg to stand on after that, right? So,
Wow, fucking little Topsy, isn't he? Poor fella. Oh god, he'll never get a foot in the door.
no,
No, not with that
I'm sure,
attitude.
I'm sure he's hooking it away.
Took a step in the wrong direction.
That's it. Oh,
Oh shit. Well, let's talk about for those who don't know you, and I don't know who wouldn't because you're fabulous. But for those who don't know you, you are a comedian. You are a comedian.
yeah. Yes, I've done stand up for quite a few years, different venues all across Ontario, Canada, and some places in the US. I've hit a few open mics and stuff like that. So it's been a very painful but enjoyable adventure in my life. I used it as a stress reliever, but yet it usually causes enough stress that you pull away from it. It's
Yeah,
kind of a
I
weird.
get that.
It's yeah, it's like a bad relationship, really. It really
Yeah.
is. You end up drinking, you know how it is.
Oh, I know. Fuck yeah, I know.
And it's funny too because
Fill her up.
you meet people, as soon as they meet you, they're like, "Oh, you do comedy? Tell me a
Mm.
joke." I'm like, "Oh, wow, you build cars? Build me one now, right now on the spot." Like, and it is bad, and it's gotten really bad. I have arguments with a lot of comedians that I talk to on a daily,
Mm.
while I'm writing here or whatever if I have time. Um, Writing now has changed totally because again, the politically correctness, the way you land a joke, like,
Yeah.
there's no joke that hasn't been written yet. Every joke's been written.
Yeah.
Every joke's been told. It's just how I do it or someone else perceives it or how you put it together or whatever.
Hmm.
And it's getting very difficult. And I always tell guys, like I was talking to Kenny Robinson the one day, I said I didn't like small rooms anymore. I wanted more of a bigger room.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, a small room's better because you get more personal interaction. The laughs bounce off the walls better and you get a better feel for the crowd. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm done feeling the crowd
Yeah,
because
because I just get arrested for that shit every
yeah,
every fucking
that's just
time.
it. I've had shows go sideways. Like I did one in Toronto one time, and it was right after I was told I had diabetes.
Okay,
So I get told
diabetes.
I have diabetes. So I of course I work it through with my comedy to try to deal with it myself, right? And
Did you
that's
do
what a lot of
the
comedians
Wilfred Brimley line?
no.
I'm Wilfred Brimley, and I have diabetes.
Oh no, diabetes. Isn't it? Is it diabetes or something? He
That
said?
I'm Wilfred Brimley, and I have diabetes.
Yeah. But anyway, I worked in this bit about being diabetic and stuff, and I had a lady start yelling at me, and she's like, you shouldn't tell fat jokes and you shouldn't talk about diabetes. At that point, my face just dropped. I'm like, okay, first of all, this is my therapy, not yours. You're getting to laugh at my inner demon.
Yeah,
So you need to go pound salt, kind of a deal, right?
right.
But she did right up my face, and she's like, "Well, I have a brother that has diabetes, and it's a serious thing." I said, "I get that. I know it's serious. That's why we're here to laugh about it."
Yeah,
You
it's
know what I mean?
comedy.
So you start to get attacked by the crowd, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
another comedian I know, back when he first started out, pretty early in his career in London, Ontario, um, he he had talked about cancer. Okay, and his name was Darren Frost. You can Google his video. The video is still online.
Hmm.
Um, Darren Frost literally had a participant in the audience throw a beer bottle at him and cut him open
No
with like
way.
13 stitches because he talked about cancer because Darren was fighting at the time. And a lot of people don't realize most comedians, we're introverts. We're not sociable people.
Mm.
We really don't like people. This is why it's kind of strange. It's like we like people in our controlled environment. So a lot of us are withdrawn, right? And we need to withdraw because we look at the world a lot differently than most people. And we have to, because we have to share our perspective to make you laugh. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, you don't see the joke the way I would, and I can give you an example of that. I was talking one time with a tattoo artist in Listowel, Ontario,
Hmm.
and he had found out I was a comic, whatever. I was there doing a show, and he goes, "Wow," he goes, "I don't really understand, what you see funny," because I started laughing. I was looking at a church,
Yeah.
right, and I'm laughing. And he's like, "What is wrong with you?" He says, "You're laughing at a church." I said, "The guy bought the church, and he made an eye doctor out of it." I said, "You don't see the joke there." He goes, "Well, I don't see the joke." I said, "Well, if you can't find them, they're going to get you glasses so you can see them, right?" But see, I was like just looking at the church, but people don't
We
always.
do that. We do that formulation in our brain, like inside. We're always very much in our heads.
Well, yeah, and you'll
Yeah.
find most people that are creative, they don't have an off button. They have a hard time sleeping. They're always over analyzing everything. Like
Yeah.
even me, like, if I have a problem in life, I literally will drive myself almost crazy till I figure out what the solution is
Yeah.
or the really bad outcome. One of them's kind of calm.
Right. It's either going to be shit or death.
Well, yeah,
Hmm. Where do I
but
want to go with this?
yeah, and you see different types of comedy throughout Ontario and Canada, like throughout Canada. There's different areas you can tell different types of jokes, and you got to read up on local areas. Like I did one in London, Ontario, the one time, and the area I did in London was very, uh, I would say, not a very nice area of the city.
Sure.
like,
Hmm.
like I literally was like walking around people that were on the street, homeless, whatever. There's a lot of mental health issues in that area, and drugs and whatever.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, the first thing I did is I looked around. I said, "Well, this is pretty disturbing and disgusting. That a city that has big universities and that allows this kind of stuff to go on." And I know it goes on everywhere, but you read the city and then you go in and tell jokes. So I read the city, and then I said to someone that I wasn't prepared at this time in my life to have another child because a woman had asked me to have another child. And he said, "Well, why wouldn't you want to have a kid?" I said, "Man," I said, "if I want a toothless homeless person begging me for food and money, I will just walk down the street here in London, Ontario." I said, "I don't really want that negativity in my life."
But I'm bummed. God.
And they're all like, "Wow, you think London's that bad?" I said, "Hey, I only got the impression of 3 blocks here."
Yeah. Just what I saw, man. Just what I saw.
Yeah, just what I saw. I'm just going by what I saw. And by the way, the guy in the center row, if you could open my beer, I see you have an opener. He's that one tooth guy, right?
Oh my God. Well, that's the thing though, man. That's the thing. You know who was great at defending comedy was Joan Rivers. She
Don't ever.
was fucking she was a beast. And people would do that to her too. She'd make jokes about about deaf people, and she, and and someone would said to her, the same thing. They'd heckle her and say, "You shouldn't make jokes about deaf people." And she said, "My mother is deaf and my brother-in-law is deaf, and it's comedy. It's a fucking joke. This is how
Well,
this is how you
yeah,
deal with it. It's
yeah.
not like this is why you came here, to have a laugh and de-stress and
And
and I think
honestly, Jenny, if they're deaf, they didn't hear the joke unless
they
you
didn't
tell
hear
them.
it anyway. No, there's
Yeah,
no
right.
chance. I
Unless
mean,
you're there signing the joke to
no.
them, they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, can you read lips nowadays? No. All that collagen? No. All that filler?
All
No.
that college.
No. All that filler is not gonna help you out at all.
Yeah.
But that's the
It's sad.
thing.
It's sad that we can't laugh at ourselves and we can't laugh about things to deal with them. Like I said, this whole politically correctness. A lot
Yeah.
of times, I will make jokes, and I do push barriers. I won't say I don't. I do push it, and I push it for a reason, and that's to get the conversation started. Right. And a lot of people don't realize
Yeah.
that. A lot of comedians say stuff on stage. It's not their personality. It's not who they are. It's to get you to think, to get you to laugh, or get the conversation going in the room about what's being talked about. Comedy is actually very serious. People don't understand it.
It is, and it's also a little bit of, and I'll speak for myself too, but it's a little bit of acting too. You've got to
Sure.
you've got to play a part. You got to play a role. You got to bring a different kind of energy with you. You got to hype it up a little bit. And absolutely, you have to be the first. I'm the first one to fucking make fun of myself. So when I get these trolls that come on like and start, like saying nasty shit, it's like, fuck, but I don't even fucking know you. I don't
Yeah.
even fucking know you. So like, why do you think I would care? Like, what? Do you know what I mean? And
Well,
I've probably, whatever you're saying, I probably said it to about myself 50 other times. So you're fucking late to the game, bruh. Like,
that's just it. Eh? They're like, oh, I even said I had a joke about that one time. The guy was like, oh man, look at you, you fat guy, whatever, eating a donut. I'm like, guy, where were you 475 donuts ago? Like, I get it. I've given up.
you really left me hanging, man.
Yeah, like I've given up. Like the fact that you caught me with one donut. Hey,
Oh my, have you had those beaver balls in your mouth yet?
no, I haven't, unfortunately. And I'm pretty good with that. I beaver ball. You know what? I seen one. I posted one online there. I seen there was Brent Butt. If Tim Hortons would have got a hold of him, we would have had buttholes. So I mean, and I'll tell you,
Oh,
the
he's funny.
chocolate ones probably would have been in demand.
Mm. Squishy, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why Tim Hortons. I don't know how beaver. I don't get beaver at all.
Yeah, I it's an interesting collab. I'll say that much. It's an interesting collab. And
Yeah,
they're actually, I don't even know what they're fucking called because everyone calls them Bieber balls. What are they? Tim
they're
Biebs.
Tim Beebs.
Tim
Yeah,
Biebs.
yeah.
What a stupid
Because beaver bits would probably make him emotionally withdrawn from like the whole thing, right? No, just little beaver bits.
name. He's like, well, I'm not a kid anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
They dropped.
I'll give him one thing for a guy that was raised probably 35 kilometers from my house
Yep.
in Kitchener. He's
Mm,
actually from Stratford or whatever.
Stratford, yeah.
Um, yeah, he's come a long way with all the
He's an all
problems
right
he's had.
guy.
You know what? His last song, I'll give him props. I really like the lyrics.
Yep.
The one where he talks about, even though you're rich, you still got a life, you still got mental health issues, you still got a lot of problems and things that he has to deal with that we all think with money would be easy, but I don't imagine it.
Yeah, I think it's hard enough for adults to handle that stuff, let alone kids and coming up
Oh,
in that. And then, I mean, you remember when you were a teenager trying to get away with every friggin' thing. And, imagine having a video camera up your ass the whole time you were doing that. Like, it's crazy,
oh, it's like an electronic leash. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't get it. I don't know how these kids do it. And I understand why there's a lot of mental health issues, but I don't know. But then
So,
we need comedy for that. But then they don't want comedy because they don't want to be laughed and joked about.
Pick one. People love to laugh. They just don't like it when people laugh at them. I think
Yeah.
is part of the problem, part of
Well,
part
that
of the thing.
that and I think a lot of people today, they get behind a cause, or whatever,
Mm,
something that really means a lot to them in life. And I think they identify with the whole cause. Like they can't
mm,
separate to laugh at what the other people, like I don't know, like it's like this climate change. We'll say climate change, okay? A lot of people are very dead set against the fact that this is going to change the whole world and it's a major problem. But then there's the side of the argument. So the argument draws comedy, where you would be able to pick away at the facts or non-facts or whatever. But these people get so sensitive about it because they stand wholeheartedly with this ideology of whatever, and it's bad because they can't look at both sides. It's kind of like our whole uh political view of the world has
mm.
changed. Like before you had the right and the left, now we
Yeah,
don't. Like we really don't. Like it's just, I don't know,
so
it's messed
enmeshed
up.
with each other.
Well, it used to be if you were liberal, you were open-minded,
Mhm.
and you were open to other things, and you listen to people, and liberals have
That's where a
basically
lot of the
taken,
STDs came from. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, free will and free willing, all the stuff that happened in the 80s and 90s. Um, but now I think people are closing their mind off. They're
Mm.
very, I don't know. Even your liberals are closed-minded now. It used to be good when people had an open mind, but now I don't know. I think they need to change the way they think. I don't know how we're going to do it, but
I think we've been coddled into this idea that everyone should overfeel in order uh, to be seen and heard. And now that everybody's been sort of secluded and isolated, you get a lot of these keyboard warriors. People are super brave behind a computer, behind a phone, behind a keyboard, and would say probably a lot of things that they wouldn't say to someone's face.
oh,
And it's
for
given
sure.
them a false sense of ego. And I think a lot of people tend to jump on a bandwagon when they see something instead of thinking for themselves and having their own opinion about something. They'll see something and someone will say, "Oh, this is really bad." Yeah, 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 that's really bad. Well, this other person has a point. Yeah, 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 they have a point. They have a point. Like they just fucking flip flop. And it's like,
Flip flop.
well, like, let's pull back and be realistic here. Do you have a fucking brain? That's number one. Um, like, how about thinking for yourself and what does it actually mean to you and what's your opinion on it? Like, don't just jump on the bandwagon because you've got to be a part of this group or movement or thought or else no one will like you. So fuck what if no one likes you? Like you live
Yeah,
like live by your own standard, by your own accord. You don't have
yeah.
to, be a
It's
part
tough
of
though because
the
if you
group.
challenge a lot of people with education, they panic. They turn around and go, "Oh, you're wrong." You know what I mean? Like it's just brutal. No one, I don't know. Nobody will look at both sides anymore. It's bad.
Yeah, it's kind of a mini mission in life to cure people of their snowflakeitis.
Yeah. And it's bad too, because I'm at the age where I lump everybody into the millennial, but I guess there's a couple more generations in there. But I basically just figure if you didn't grow up when I did,
And
stuff like that.
I love that there's been a movement towards more, positive mental health, and people like mental health services are more than ever are accessible and available and um encouraged. And I love that movement, and I love
Yeah,
that conversation, and I love that people are um less afraid to reach out if they need help. And I think that that's absolutely amazing. But there's a certain percentage of the population that enjoy being offended just to be offended.
yeah,
And I think that that creates a whole heap of problems,
yeah.
and people need to get their head out of their ass and be realistic. And like, are you really offended or just you trying to be cool? Like,
I I just wish they changed things back a little bit. I mean, I know we've come, like you said, we've come a long way with mental health issues, and
mm,
and and everyone has rights now. Like you have gay marriage here in Canada, you have the right to be who you want to be,
which is
and I
great.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that. That's great. That's
Yeah.
amazing. But the problem I'm finding now is by the government's allowing all these little sections. Like you said, like
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
dividing
yeah.
us. They literally
Mm,
are dividing us by giving us special interest or rights,
mm.
which aren't really special interests or rights. They should be your equality rights. Everyone should be equal.
Yes.
I don't understand why we're playing this game where, oh, they get this, they get that. How about just equal? Everyone just be equal,
Yeah.
except that everyone bleeds, everyone dies, everyone breathes, and have a normal life. Like I never, like I can honestly say until I was like, I think I was 22 or 23, I got in some trouble, and I ended up
Ruh-roh.
um, meeting some new people from different areas in the country, and that was the first
You
time.
probably have the same friends in low places.
Well, and I'll give you an idea. Where I grew up, I went to high school with Lennox Lewis.
Mm,
So I don't. He's a Canadian boxer.
yeah.
He's a little popular, but
Just a tad.
me,
Good old
him,
Lenny.
yeah, me, him, Rich, the
What,
Johnson
like
brothers,
this, like this.
we all hung out, right?
Yep.
But at 23 was the first time I ever seen color
Mm,
because I was confronted by some people that were ignorant, and all of a sudden you started to see the divide.
yeah.
And I'm like, wow, really? This would never happen in my normal life. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it was really weird. And I don't ever want to feel that way ever again. I don't think we should have to. I think
Yeah,
everyone
I
should just
agree.
be equal.
I
Like
agree.
I don't care if you have a sparkler in your butt cheeks and running down Main Street. I don't care. Throw your pixie dust, wear your stuff. I just don't think we should glorify certain things or vice versa. It should just be society of equality.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think I just watched some interview with Betty White the other night, and they asked her about um, gay marriage and gay rights and all that stuff. She says, "I don't care who you sleep with. That's none of my business. What you do behind closed doors is your business. It's none of mine. All I care about is if you're a good person."
yeah,
And I think that goes for, I think that's across the board. Like I mean,
yeah.
what you believe, that you and I would probably disagree on a great many things.
Oh,
But
nobody agrees with me.
Garen fucking Tia. But that's okay. That's good.
Yeah.
And people are quick to think that conflict is a bad and negative thing. Conflict is just a misunderstanding or a disagreement or a, a, a a difference of minds that creates a conversation. And if you take it on with respect and an open mind, you're able to, you may not agree, but you can at least see where the opposition is coming from. I may not
Well,
agree with you on something, but I could understand how you think that way and how you feel that way, and I could see it from your point of view. And so conflict is not always a bad thing. Conflict can be very productive and very beneficial.
I think it was what, grade 10 or 11 where they introduced debating.
Mm,
And I don't know if they do that anymore because they basically used to teach you in school a healthy way to debate a person on a conflicted interest that you both
mhm.
had or whatever, so that you could see the other person's side. I don't know if that even exists in the education system anymore.
I don't know what they're teaching kids in school. I'm afraid.
Yeah. Well, I've met a lot of grade 12 students that don't know basic math like arithmetic.
Mm.
They need a calculator for everything, so I'm not sure they're teaching anything. I almost think they just push them through now. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Well, I know they do that I have a friend in the US who's a teacher, and they have a no child left behind policy. Um, and he does talk about that a little bit. So basically, even if you fail, you pass the kid through with a D or whatever.
Is that
Because
really
leaving
being
them
fair to
leaving
the
them
kid?
behind would do more of a detriment to their mental and emotional health than keeping them back, which I don't
Yeah, I
know.
guess there's a
I guess,
there's an argument both ways, I guess, on that too. I
yeah,
mean,
fair enough. Some
but
valid points, but I mean, if you're just not learning anything in school and you keep getting passed through, I mean, you better have some fucking talent, because
yeah.
you better know how to paint. You better know how to fix a car. Fucking bills don't pay
And
themselves.
yeah, no doubt. You better like 24 beer and a paintbrush, because that's how houses get painted in northern and eastern Canada.
Holy fuck. I'm telling you. And I'm not necessarily I'm very pro education, but I also don't think you need secondary education to in order to succeed in life. I think if you got talent and passion for something and you're good at something, and you might have a particular niche,
Yeah,
like that's Jack Ma. Look at Jack Ma. Jack Ma, owner of Alibaba,
yeah, yeah.
failed all through school, every single grade, every single like class. He was rejected from like I think like 90 universities. Like he applied 90, it was a ridiculous amount of times.
Oh yeah,
um he never passed anything basically. He talks about it openly. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
he went to a friend's house one day and saw this computer, and they were all looking around, and he says, well, what's this? And he says, I bet I could sell stuff with on this. And he started in a one room apartment. He hired four friends or something like that,
Yeah.
and they started internet retail. And he's a bazillionaire.
Zillionaire. Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well,
talk
you
about a
know,
success story.
well, in that sense, there's a lot of countries that have it, I think, better than we do as far as education, and that's the fact that, like, I know in Europe, by like grade 8 in
Mm,
Portugal, they try to steer you towards whatever you're going to do for life. You know what I mean? And they educate
mm.
you in that area so that you're not taking like zoology when you're going to work on cars. Like it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
try to keep them focused on something that's an interest in that. And the same as Cuba. Like Cuba, their education system is free, so they can do whatever they want to do. So you don't have a doctor being a doctor for money. He's doing it
Mm.
because he wants to help people and he wants to do things. And I think here in North America, we're all chasing the dollar, and there's a lot of people that are in massive, massive education debt in a field they don't even really enjoy.
That
You know what I mean?
pains me
It
to know how
doesn't it
much
though?
people owe in
Yeah. And you
tuition.
would think if your country wants to be strong, the more educated your people are, the stronger your country's always going to be.
Mm.
I mean, lack of knowledge is kind of where we're at now, I think, in the world.
So what do you like? What would you think if say they said education was free for everyone, college, university? What? How do you think that would impact our world?
How do I think it would impact our world? I think it would be great. I honestly do. I think financially it would be a little bit of a burden on all of us as taxes and stuff because we'd have to recoup that money one way or another. But if we have a strong, healthy people that are educated, they'll find ways to make money. They'll make products. They'll do things. I think a lot of these countries we're falling behind. I really do. I think it would be a lot healthier because people would be happier. I think if they could do what they want to do in life instead of struggle and pay bills and work
Mm.
check to check for that degree that they don't use.
So I'll just play devil's advocate for a second because I think the cost of school and tuition is depending on what you choose to do is can be astronomical, and I think it it, it inlays a sense of control. I think the government uses that as a sense of control because if education is free and everyone can take whatever they want whenever they want, that means everyone's going to have a job in the sector that they want, and so there's not going to be any shortages for anything. There's actually going to be an oversaturation of people in careers. And so how does that lend to everybody, making money if everyone's trained in the field they
Well,
choose to be
I
in?
I think you're still going to have a small percentage, maybe 20% or something like that, that is not going to be able to educate, uh,
Mm,
even
mm,
though
mm,
that's there for them, and
mm,
that will fill the sectors of people of your minimum wage jobs and stuff like that or whatever. I don't know. I think it'd be good, and I think it would help us send people around the world
mm,
educated to help in other places that could attract other talents to our country because there'd be openings and money. And I don't know.
yeah.
It, I would like to see. I would just like to see people that actually have the drive in life and have what it takes to do what they want to do, be able to
Mm,
do it. You know, like even
yeah.
comedy here in Canada is not even recognized as an art.
Mm.
We can't get grants or anything. We
Which it
can't.
so is. It people don't realize like
Yeah, everyone comes home to watch TV, but nobody wants to support the people that want to get there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a sticky wicket, that is. Maybe a better loan forgiveness program be,
yeah.
you know, be the
I
way to
don't know. And
handle it.
even with education, like you said, the cost is astronomical. Um, if everyone's doing what they want to do in life, they're not pushing for big money. They just want to make an income, right?
Mm,
So where a lot of countries like Cuba, everyone makes basically the same kind of money. I hate to use Cuba as an example all the time, but uh, so there is no big push for money because everyone makes the same amount of money. You know what I mean? That lowers
yeah.
crime rates. That lowers everyone has an opportunity. You know what I mean? I think right now we've dropped the ball big time because now we're just taking people and putting them in jobs they don't belong in.
Mm,
And I mean, my industry in the trucking industry is pure example of that right now, Jenny. We have an abundance of people who have lost their jobs over the years,
mm,
and unemployment has helped them get into the trucking industry. And it's great. They make an advancement. They're helping themselves. They're making a better living. But now they're a problem on the roads. Uh, the, the truck accident for Humboldt
mm,
is a
oh,
prime example.
devastating,
It
devastating.
was, it was, and I don't even blame the driver. The driver right now is trying to get the right to stay here,
Well, they're
and
trying
I
to
don't.
export him to,
Yeah, and
yeah.
you know what? I fully, I don't feel I say the word. I don't hold him accountable. I hold our country, the education and the process of getting the license
Mm,
and the training that's involved accountable, not the driver. The driver is just trying to make a living. He
yeah.
got out, and I mean, he may have had, how can I say that? The accident may have been his fault for misjudgment of not seeing the stop sign or whatever. That is fine. That's human error. That could happen to you. You could pull out tomorrow and hit a child on a bicycle if you're not looking properly. Things happen. That I understand. But we could have avoided all this in the trucking industry by not allowing people to come from no education in the area into that area and basically just given a license. They
Mm,
need to change the way we do stuff so our highways are
proper
safer.
training. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
I
that?
mean,
What are your thoughts on that recent one that's in the news? That guy killed four
the
people.
102 years or whatever guy,
Yeah.
that is insane. That,
So
uh,
I don't watch a lot of news, to be honest with you, but from what my understanding, from what I've gathered, is that the brakes failed in his truck.
yeah, it's chalked up to mechanical error and stuff. At the end of the day, what they're doing, instead of convicting him on the actual crime for the whole thing kind of thing. They're basically doing the American way, and he's being charged with like 5 years per person that was
Right.
injured or whatever at 105 years or 102 years. It's insane. It's insane.
Well, where's the accountability and liability for the company? Like if like he doesn't have as far as my understanding goes, he's not a mechanic, correct? It wasn't his,
That
it's not his
that's
responsible
correct.
to check and care for the vehicle. He's
Well,
his responsibility is to feel comfortable and confident that he's been given a vehicle that's in good working condition, to complete his job. So if the brakes don't work, I don't understand how that's,
yeah,
and I may be missing a lot of bits and pieces from this case. Like I said, I'm not wholly invested in it, but just on the face of it, it just seems off.
it's basically the driver's always the easiest one to blame. He's the right away. That's the first one they go to. And really, these days it shouldn't be because years ago we used to have to be able to adjust our brakes. We had to know, we had to have knowledge and everything like that. So now you need to know all this, but it's against the law for a truck driver to touch anything mechanical on the truck, as far as
Sure.
brakes and stuff.
Yeah, I can
So
see that.
is he liable? He is kind of, because you do a pre-trip and you have to make sure you have brakes and everything like that. But if it's poor brake maintenance and there was like wear spots or whatever on the drums and stuff like that, that's on the company. But he's going to be in a long court battle, I think, to hopefully get some of his life back at some point.
Very sad. Very sad. Uh, Getting back to the funny bits, you doing any stand up anytime soon?
Not soon enough, I don't think. Right now I'm so busy with working and writing. With this COVID, it's made it very hard. They have a
Mm,
couple open mics near Montreal that I could enjoy if I wanted to.
mhm.
But for now, I think I'll just be writing and maybe try to figure out how to use TikTok properly because now you can do 5 minutes apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, upload 5-minute I don't know, I can't watch anything longer than 10 seconds, like short
Right?
circuit. So I don't know what the
Well,
5 minutes is. I don't get it.
the problem is with the comedy and TikTok and stuff like that. Okay, skits and stuff, yeah, you can do.
Mm,
Actual stand up, you don't want to do. I had at one point a YouTube channel where I had a lot of my stuff live
yep.
taped, and then I found a lot of guys doing my stuff in clubs.
Oh no. Fuck, I
So
hate that.
yeah,
I
so
hate that.
that's why a lot of guys don't put their stuff up there. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
don't
So
blame you. And I'm one for like I'm real super big on give credit where credit's due.
yeah,
Even if you do something similar, at least give it inspired by or credit to, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I fucking see it. I'm seeing so much of that lately, and I've had it happen to me too. It just not necessarily on TikTok, but just in things that I do creatively outside of work and, whatever.
I try to. The biggest problem for me is always remembering who to thank for whatever inspired me.
Well, but you
Yeah,
write your stuff and it's original, right? But when
yeah.
somebody else like copies your set, right, and does it as their own, it's like
Oh yeah.
maddening.
Trust me, I have a vending machine joke out there that is mine, and I've heard it been told a few times, but
Ugh.
it's the way it works.
Yeah,
That's
that's the way the beaver balls crumble, right?
yeah.
I do want to congratulate you on a very big thing that's happened in your life, which I'm very, very proud of you for. You have been on a health journey for the last little bit, and you've lost quite a bit of weight, my friend.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Almost a full person, actually.
almost, almost a spouse. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
pretty
roll
much.
that one right up in the carpet and tossed
Yeah.
her over.
Yeah, it was, I think it was last December, around last December, around Christmas time. I noticed I was having a lot of problems with breathing and mobility and just life. Life was getting tough.
Mm,
Like
mm,
a 20-minute workout in the 80s was a show on TV. For me, it was putting on my socks.
right.
So at that point, I figured I should do something. So I started changing, not necessarily what I ate, but how I ate and when I ate.
Mm,
And I started losing a little bit of weight um, to the point where I was keeping myself motivated. Because that's the
yeah.
big thing. If you're not seeing results, it's hard to stay motivated. So I was seeing a little bit of results, just changing little eating habits. Like I took, we'll say, like a bag of potato chips and swapped it out for a bag of pork rinds.
Oh,
You know,
that's super healthy swap. Yeah.
it's a big difference. It,
Okay.
it actually, it actually is. I could read the things to you, but it
Okay.
did help. It did help too because they're not
Sure.
something that mentally a bag of Ruffles is like a. It would be like something I needed to conquer. You know what I mean? Like you're just not
Right.
eating. You know what I mean? Where a pork rind, you're like, you know what? I got the crunch. I got a little bit of what I like, and I could.
Okay.
So
It's
it's
like a
more
portion
mental.
control. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when weight loss is more mental than anything.
I agree
It's
with
not
that.
even about foods as much.
Mhm.
It's knowing what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, and why you're eating. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I still struggle to this day. When I'm driving, I have to have something going in for some reason. I don't know why. Uh, like I always have pepperettes or, candy of some sort. So I've changed things. So now I use these candies here. They're sugar-free. It's almost like a
Oh,
turtle.
yeah. Cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they're sugar-free.
Hmm.
They're not great for you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, but
But it's a
it takes
process. You slowly start to, and then you'll eliminate those and choose something healthier, and then
right,
it just
right.
so it goes. Yeah.
So by doing that, I brought my weight down about 113 pounds just by
Amazing.
changing things out. And then I plateaued and I was getting a little more struggling, and then I ended up with some other issues that I ended up in the hospital for and stuff like that. So again, I started a journey on getting gastric sleeve surgery.
Mhm.
So I tried around here. There's a lot of holdbacks. There's a lot of hoops to jump through for our medical system.
Yeah.
Well, I started going outside the box, and I found a place in Tijuana, Mexico.
Oh, Christ. Thank God you're with us.
So a couple, you know what? That is the
Manan
same
Mania.
response. That is the same response I get from everyone that I've told that I went to Tijuana, Mexico. And I only have one thing to say to this, and I've been in the hospital a lot in my life
Uh-huh.
because I've always been in great shape, right?
Uh-huh.
And I hands down got the best medical care I've ever had in my life there.
Really?
Yeah, it was the cleanest hospital I've ever been in.
Really?
Yes, and very personal. Again, you pay for this out of your pocket. So,
Yes, sure.
and that particular part of Mexico, their whole existence is medical, like their financial existence in that part.
Mm.
Well, and drugs, but I mean, we were not going to talk about that.
A little bit of that. Yeah.
But but they do a lot of medical tourism,
Uh-huh.
and they make a lot of money at it. The only thing I think I felt a little uncomfortable about is one, going out of the country, is our governments, and I'm going to say,
Mhm.
always tell us that we have the best medical in the world,
Sure.
and we're the safest at home.
Sure.
But that's what they told you. You
Mhm.
don't know unless you go check out other things, right? So
Mm. I've got
I'd
a
agree.
story for that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I know there is complicated, but you can have complications anywhere, right,
Yeah.
Jenny?
Yeah.
So
True.
maybe I got lucky. I researched this guy. He's all over YouTube and everything, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of interviews from different press people that I was able to talk to him beforehand, get a kind of a feel for him,
Yeah.
kind of a deal. And they made the experience really good for me. I was in and out. It was like going to get Tim Beats, man. It was like in and out
Wow.
through surgery, right?
Just a smooth
So
transaction.
I was down and back in like 3 days. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like it was insane. So, and they took really good care of me. Like even now, if I have a question, I can Google them, call them, text them, and they're within minutes. They'll help.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm very impressed with the particular hospital I went to and stuff. I can't speak for everybody down there, but I had a really good experience, and I'm down another 50 some odd pounds. So I basically I went from 420 pounds last December, and today I was at 280.2.
That's incredible. That's
So,
incredible.
and for me, that's really good because my goal weight is 245.
Yeah.
Because at 245 pounds, you can see my abs. I'm just a big guy. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm only 40 pounds away from my goal,
That's
yet I
amazing.
sound like I'm overweight for the whole world.
You
It's,
you
it's
look
kind of
inc
my
you look
thing.
incredible. You look incredible. You really
Yeah.
do. You've
And
come
I'm
so
trying
far.
I'm trying to do it slowly too, because
That's the key. Yeah.
I don't want to have all the problems I
Ex
see other people have with the skin
excess skin
and stuff
yeah.
like, and there's a lot of other things that come with losing it too fast, and that's not being able to keep it off.
Yeah.
So now I try to like I've tried keto before. I had great success
Mm.
with keto. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? But it's short term.
Short term,
Everything
it's
is
really
short
hard on
term.
your kidneys.
It is because you're not supposed to process that much proteins and
Yeah.
stuff, right? So
Yeah.
so now I try to keep it pretty balanced.
Yeah.
I am pretty still high protein. Like I try to get 2 or 3 protein shakes in a day,
Mhm.
plus whatever meats I eat.
But you
But
need carbs. You need carbs too.
you do,
You
you
need
do.
carbs for
But
your brain to function. It's not just about burning fat. I mean, you can't
well,
just
that's
eat
just
protein all your life. We're not making fucking piranha solution here.
right, right. And I think that's the big confusion a lot of people have, is that carbs are bad. Carbs are not bad. There is bad carbs,
Yeah.
right? So I eat half a sweet potato. You know what I mean?
Perfect. Perfect.
And that's great. Keeps my sugars a little bit more balanced than a white potato does.
Mhm.
It's good for me. I had a little bit of stuffing the other day.
Oh,
Someone
yeah?
gave me a little plate. Not that stuffing.
Mm.
Yeah, not no.
Sorry. I'm awkward.
That's all right. There was no turkey neck involved. No. So it was stuffing, and I enjoyed it. but I knew that I could only have maybe 4 ounces of it, right?
Right.
4 ounces or so, but I got a little taste of it. Now I had 4 ounces again a couple hours later.
Sure.
So I'm just making my blood sugars
Yeah,
stay
yeah,
where they
yeah.
should be and still enjoying things. Like I had a butter tart. It was the first sugar, I shouldn't say sugar, first like processed sugar,
Okay,
processed
yeah, yeah,
sugar.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's the first processed sugar I've had in almost a year.
Wow.
And it didn't kill me. I didn't gain any weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
have to make sure that I introduce a little bit, maybe once a week, a little something, just so my body relearns how to process this stuff and digest it properly and everything get back to a
Yeah.
rhythm. The problem is with a lot of people like myself, they used to binge eat or eat wrong, or being a truck driver, I eat, steak and fries at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to bed at 4:05. You
Oh
know what I mean? Like,
gosh. Yeah.
yeah. So it's just getting my body to relearn everything. And a lot of people don't think that. They go on
Mhm.
this keto thing, or they go on these special diets, and they jog, they run, they do all this crazy stuff. And I haven't even worked out yet. So
Yeah.
they do all this crazy stuff. And then they're like, all right, I'm 120 pounds now. I'm going to have a chocolate bar. Well, your body doesn't know what to do with that. Your body's going to store it right away, or it's going to go into panic mode. The
Yeah.
same way you went into panic mode when you were stuffing your head with stuff that you shouldn't have been eating, you know? So it's just
Yeah.
retraining your body, I
Yeah,
think.
that's it. Then that's what it is too. And I think you hit the nail on the head too when you said it's a mental game. Weight
Oh,
loss
yeah.
and weight gain is a mental game, and yeah, it very much is. It very much
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
like
glad. glad.
I found out this year that just because they cut the pizza in 8 doesn't mean you have to eat all 8. You know what I
Fuck.
mean? Like there's just
Where were you yesterday?
right? I always thought if there's a pizza pocket shortage, you just grab the medium and fold it in half, right? So, but
Oh,
we do. We
well,
we eat
that's
for
good.
comfort, we eat for loneliness, we eat for anger, we eat for so many different reasons. And the
Yeah.
biggest problem I think in North America we have now is that we eat as a social aspect. What
Mm,
do? Hey, you want to go up for a drink? Sure. Want something to eat with that drink? Sure. Hey, do you want to go eat chicken wings? Do you want to go eat? Everything is you want to go eat. It always
mm.
ends with a meal.
You
And I think
you
a lot
double
of,
the caloric intake of your food when you add alcohol. If you, I don't know if you
oh,
know that.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that explains a lot
Yeah.
then. Oddly enough, when I used to drink, and I haven't really drank much in a lot of years, but when I used to drink hardcore, like we used to do bar hopping and stuff, and you're young
Mm.
and you're meeting girls and stuff, uh, I literally probably drank my own body weight every day.
Oh, fuck.
But I was
Yeah.
literally the skinniest I ever was.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
And the only thing I can think of is because I was still in the mind frame, I had hopes that maybe I'd meet somebody, right?
Yeah. Oh, when we were young and dumb, right?
Yeah, right, right. And
I'm
it's
gonna
funny,
find that person. I'm gonna get married, and life is gonna be swell.
oh, yeah, 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 it's all gonna work out. Yeah, yeah. 20,
Holy shit.
25 years later, you have a cat, a dog, maybe 2 dogs like me, and yeah, you're eating a jar of peanut butter at 3 o'clock in the morning watching TV. Like, you don't even dip the cracker anymore, you're just like, "Ah."
Just dip the spoon in. Who am I trying to impress? No
Yeah,
one. No.
exactly, right?
Well, I'm glad
Yeah.
you had a positive experience. That's good to know, and it's good for people listening to know that a positive experience can come out of that too. And
Well,
did they throw anything in? Did they throw in a Brazilian butt lift, or just a bottle of tequila? Was it a parting gift, or no? Just
no, no, the only
no.
parting
Okay.
gift is 5 holes that you have to explain to everyone when you have your shirt off now.
Right. Yeah. So you got spackle for Christmas, is what you're saying?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
exactly. I
Yeah.
figure I'm just gonna tattoo bullet holes on me. That way, when my Christmas in York,
Yeah.
York, everyone thinks I'm from there. Right?
Bad motherfucker.
I
Yep.
need to blend, right? I'll just get like Thug Life across my chest here, and just tattoo some stuff there, or whatever. But
Oh
no,
man.
as far as medical outside the country, um, I would always suggest you do things if you can at home. I would, just because of the travel and the cost. If something does happen,
Mm,
and I have a lot of doctors here that necessarily don't want to deal with you when you've
mm.
went outside of our medical system. But you
Yeah, that's
need
a good
it,
point.
if you need it and you need to travel, just educate yourself. You don't need the surgery today. You need it soon. Take
Mm,
your time. Do your due diligence. look into everything. I talked to many Canadians that had already been down there and used this particular doctor and stuff, and the internet's not always true. So
No, stop. You don't
you
say.
gotta do a little digging
Come
for
on.
fact. Yeah.
Well, that's I'm proud of you. I have to say, I'm proud of you. It's not an easy task, and even beyond the surgery, you still like you say, you gotta adopt a lifestyle and make some changes, and it's not a quick fix. So
No, no, and there's a lot of problems that come with it, Jenny. There really is. Like
yeah.
they have what's called dumping syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yeah.
exactly what it sounds like.
Yep.
And it's bad
Yeah.
some days, and you have to learn to not drink when you eat. You know what I mean? And you need to
Yeah.
eat at a slower pace. We all
And
love this. I don't
less
know why.
food.
Yeah, less food. But I don't know why this is, but we all think that the end of the pizza crust is where all the flavor is because we got to get that whole fucking, we got to get it all in at once. You know what I mean? You're actually supposed to take your time and enjoy it. I mean, this is new to me.
Yeah.
I thought you knew the enjoyment was at the fifth piece, right? You're like, oh yeah, that's good. So you learn to eat slower.
Mm.
You learn to get the proper stuff out of the food because anytime you consume food too quickly, your body does not know what to do with it, and it will get rid of it faster than it can take what it needs out of it. And that's where a lot of people gain weight
Yeah.
because it just grabs sugars, it grabs carbs just to keep you moving, and then dumps all the proteins and everything out. So I've had to deal with that a little bit. It's usually on a day where I'm really busy,
Yeah.
you know.
Convenient. Yep.
Um, uh, the other thing is I now feel full, but I feel it in my throat, not in my stomach.
Well,
So
that's why they tell you to eat slow because the transit time is a lot slower.
yeah, yeah. Apparently the second lane is gone. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm down like the pedestrian walking bike lane.
Like two fucking
So
shopping carts stuck in the middle of the
yeah,
aisle. Ba-dum-bum. And that's how you bring it around, ladies and gentlemen.
there you go. There you go.
That's how you do comedy.
There you go. Look at that.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
Oh, buddy.
that's
It's good.
awesome.
It's good to see you.
Yeah,
Good to
it was
see
nice
you.
chatting with you for sure.
Yeah.
It was very enjoyable.
What's the new year hold for you?
Well, I'm hoping to get my other 40 pounds off.
Mm-hmm.
And if the world would get back to normal, I get back to the gym and start feeling a little more healthier. Because
Nice.
even though I got the weight off, I still don't have the strength and everything that I want in life
Yeah.
at this point. I mean, I can get my shoes on now, but tying them still a little tough, and
Yeah. Well,
I don't have all the
it's
strength.
intricate. Yeah. The Velcro goes this way, and then you come. Yeah. So.
I thought, no, I was gonna say, I thought when you got out of those places, you didn't have to wear Velcro anymore. But anyway, uh, they took the jacket away, Jenny. They took the jacket away.
Oh fuck. Well, tell people where they can find you on your socials.
They can find me at Vinny Has an Opinion. That's basically where I am. Or on Facebook under Vini, Vini, because I spell it differently, just because that's the kind of prick I am.
Yeah, got it.
Um, but that's where you can find me. I know in our little discussion on the thing, you want to know who I follow or who I thought was the best video this week and stuff like that. And right
Yeah.
now, I have to say, Jenny, Angry Reactions. I don't know if you're familiar with this guy.
No.
No, his name's
Let me look it
Angry
up.
Reactions.
Angry
He was a
reaction.
rather large man that in 3 months is just amazing.
Let me look at this. And it's as it's spelled, right? Angry
Reactions, yeah.
reactions. Here we go.
He
Oh
got
gosh.
famous and
Let's see.
verified for the way
Oh
he
yeah,
looks
he
on
is. He's got
camera.
24.9 million followers. Look at that.
Yeah, and he
That's
just lost about 200 pounds in like three
good for
months.
him. In 3 months. It's
It's like 3 or
fast.
4 months. That's what it's. It may have been a little bit longer than that, but I'm going to tell you, and knowing just what I know by following him and stuff like that, I believe a lot of what helped him, because he didn't go for surgery or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
was his mental health awareness.
Mm.
Having a social outlet to enjoy people and talk and so he's done a really good job. I haven't spoken to him yet to see how or why but pretty amazed when I seen that video this week.
Oneya D'Amelio. Oneya. He's from Ghana?
Yeah, he has 2 accounts. One's under his native name and one is under Angry Reactions.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'll
Really
have to
good
check
guy.
out some of his videos. That's a pretty, he looks like a young guy too. It's pretty awesome feat. 24.9 million followers. Jeez. Good on him.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
for him.
and he is a very funny guy. It's all about his face, though. He's got that face where I don't know, you just laugh. He
Yeah.
makes your day. Very positive guy when you open up the
That's what a
TikTok.
lot of people say about me. I have a face for radio. So it's
That face, yeah. Trust me, you don't see any TV specials here either, Jen.
Oh, buddy. I don't know. It's good to see you.
Yeah, so it's good to see you, and it's good spending time there talking. We have to get on the lives one of these times
Yeah.
together. I don't know, like this is a little different, but I usually have a little more punch there, but I just try to behave.
You're
I
on your
try to
best
behave.
behavior right now. Yeah.
I'm really trying because you know what? My whole goal in life is to be happy and have everyone else laugh and be happy with me. And I hate to think
Yeah.
that I defend anybody by accident.
Oh, fine.
And
Don't worry about it. We got insurance. Don't worry about it.
yeah, yeah, good because I got clean shorts on because I knew this was going to be a car wreck. You know what I
We got insurance for the show, and I'm a therapist full time. So whatever it is, I'll fucking fix it.
mean? No doubt. If only we could fix the whole world, eh?
Oh God. Well, it was great to see you, buddy, and we'll hope to catch up soon. Thank you so much for co-hosting with me today. I had a blast, and
Well,
it's been
it's
fun.
great. I've enjoyed having this time with you too. And yeah, thanks for asking me on. I appreciate it.
We'll do it again.
All right. You have
All
a good
right.
night.
You too. Take care.